Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I will show you some high boost team you can use this season 113 of TOP, and I will also show you the team I'm gonna use and showcase next week. Of course, you don't need to change your team from season to season. You don't need to go high boost if you want to 1k CC. You can use the team that worked for you in the past. Just change the two characters in the best to good Z tier this season and bring them for the last lane fight. The best G tier can be found on the route video I made yesterday, and there is timestamp too. For today's video, you're gonna need to have friendship on your teams because they're gonna be high boost, and friendship is gonna be super important because it's gonna increase your stat. So if you do not have high friendship, I would advise to play it safer, have a better character and just have 2 Z tier, and you're gonna need to follow the star requirement for all your character. Never ever use a low star character like below 7 star. You're gonna have 2 Zenkai characters that are Zenkais. You're gonna need to use a more recent character if they're low star. Older character need to be 9 star and so on. You can pause and check it out yourself. Now let's get to the first team. So this is the team I'm gonna use, and the gameplay for that is gonna be on the video on screen here. It's gonna be not this weekend, the weekend after on a Saturday. The schedule is gonna be at the end of this video, of course, if you want to learn more. But basically this team I'm gonna use 4 free-to-play character, which is gonna be the ones like on top here. So you basically can have all of them, and they are farmable. These 3 guys, they are farmable on the ticket event we just got, and this guy was farmable during part 2 of anniversary. This guy was also farmable from the original story at some point. You can get him to the 7, and you're gonna have the Goten, who is S tier, the Zenkai Gohan, and the EX Gohan. Now for Z tier, as you saw here, you have 3 of them. The yellow Trunks, which everyone should have, so you have him in your team. The green Gohan, which everyone should have too because he was free to play. And the purple EX Gohan, if you have him 9 star, he would be okay in your team to use like me. If you do not have one of the Z tier, I would just remove one and not use the Z tier. Or you can use, for example, this EX Trunks. If he's like very high star, he's gonna be okay. You can also use this guy if he's Z7, and you can use this guy if he's like 14 star. Otherwise, just remove a Z tier. For example, you do not have this guy, the EX Gohan, and I would advise to put Red Pan, which is a really good character. 2 Z tier is gonna be enough, sorry, and 2 S tier is enough too. In our team, we're gonna put back our EX Gohan, of course, which is gonna be here because I have him. If you do not, just remove him. We're gonna have 2 S tier, which is the green Gohan here. He's gonna Zenkai buff our EX, that's why I have him. But if you want to use Great Saiyaman plus Pan, you can do that. You can put Pan here. You can also use this purple Gohan if you wanted to, instead of the Zenkai Future Gohan. And he's gonna Zenkai buff this guy, which is gonna be decent. And if you do not want to use him, and you can use an A tier if you want to, it's gonna work too. Or you can use just like your Beast Gohan. You can use like the LL Gohans, the LL Beast Gohan, LL Future Gohan, and LL Ultimate Gohan. They're all gonna be good in your team. But for A tier, let's say you can have this Pan, which is decent. Triple Blue is okay, and you're gonna have Zenkai buff for the 2 blue free to play. You can have this purple Goten, which is fine. He's not the best, but he's gonna be fine as Zenkai buff this free to play. You can have this guy as a green, he's okay too. And you can have this yellow Pan, especially if you have the EX Trunks, the GT one, he's gonna work well with him. The EX Trunks here is gonna be this guy, the newer one, DBL 67, not this guy, the older one, who is not good at all, which is DBL 11. At the end, you just must have 2 Z tier, or this guy you can farm him, and you can have this guy. And all the other can be replaced apart from this guy, who is free to play, and he's our healer. He's a must in our team. And for example, you don't have this Goten and you don't have this guy, you can have like Beast Gohans, or pretty good here. You can have this too. You can have, of course, the Pan, who is really good. You can have this Trunks instead of Future Gohan, is green too. Even if his strike base is gonna be decent, this guy is good. And this guy is decent too. For example, you don't have this, and you can make a team like that very easily. These guys are also really good if you want to. They're just not Sun Fam, and this guy buffs Sun Fam. This guy doesn't buff Hybrid too. That's why I have so many Gohan and just one Trunks, because a lot of them doesn't buff hybrid, but they buff Sun Fam. But this guy, since he's event exclusive, he's gonna get the buffs from event exclusive here, and he's gonna get the event exclusive again. And this guy, does he buff hybrid? He does not, so he gets the event exclusive stuff. So just try to have some Sun Fam hybrids, and if you are missing one or two characters, just put your high star LLs or Ultra Gohan or something like that. Now let's get to the next team. Honestly, for GT, you can use a very similar team to last season that I showcased, of course. And for Z tier, what you can have is Majub and Trunks that are really good if they are above 7 star. I would say 9 star one of them, and the other 7 star is okay, just have friendship. If you do not have one of them, you can use this Real, who is decent, and you can use him instead of the Z tiers, and it's Majub or Trunks, of course. For S tier, you're gonna have the other Majub, who is really good, and he's in S tier. Now for GT, maybe this guy or this guy are gonna Zenkai, so if they're Zenkai, you can use them in your team. If they do not, I would advise this EX Omega. If he's 9 star, he's really good. If you do not have him 9 star, you can use this other EX Sin like we did last season. Other than that, in A tier, you're gonna have the GT Vegeta, the Red Sin, and the Trunks. If you wanted to, you can use this guy instead of Majub, and he's gonna work too. You have also this Pan, who is pretty decent. If she's 9 star, she can work in your team. For LLs, of course, as always, you can use Super 17, who's really good with the Sin, because both of them are super fast. You can also have the Tag Force, you can have the Baby, you can have also the Omega. They're all gonna be pretty good in battle. In B tier, what we're gonna have is the Bula, if you wanted double healer, and this 17, who is also pretty decent. That's basically it for GT, similar to last season. Now let's get to the next team. Vegeta clan is looking pretty decent. They have this guy in Z tier who is an HP buffer. He's not super tanky, but he's gonna do the job with his HP and support. I would say go farm him 14 star easily. The event is out for free to plays. Same for this guy, go farm him. If you do not have a third Z tier, don't use them. If you do, you can use this Vegeta who is decent. You can use this older Vegeta who is decent too, but he doesn't have the Z ability, which is annoying. And you're gonna have this Trunks, this one, which is DBL 67, not this one, who is really good too. And he's gonna get the HP buff from this guy, and it's gonna be pretty good for your team. And I would say Vegeta, I prefer him the most. Himself, he does have a double offense ability. He can transform and he gets 20% damage cut, which is nice. Even if he's melee type, after transforming, his strike is too high. So if you have this guy high star, you can use him, the EX Trunks. If you do not, you can use the Vegeta. This guy also can be decent, just the Z ability is so annoying. He doesn't buff Vegeta clan, which is pretty bad. But let's put Vegeta here. If you do not have any one of them, you can just remove one of the Z tier and put someone else here. For example, in S tier, you're gonna have this EX Vegeta, who is pretty good and he can be used. You're gonna also have this Trunks. He's melee type though, so it's annoying, but he does have a double offensive ability, which is gonna be decent. And in S tier, what you have also is this Trunks, which is free to play, but I wouldn't use him unless you have only 2 Z tier. You can use this Trunks because he's not super tanky. Now for the 2 LLs I have here, they're gonna be pretty good in battle, but if you had like Budio, you can use him. These 2 LLs, they need to be very high star, at least 7 star or more. I would say one of them 7, the other 9, because you're gonna need the stars. If you do not have one of them high star, just use the Budio, who are really good in battle. As a Zenkai, they would be decent even at 7 star. You also have this Vegeta. If he's high star, he's gonna be good, just he's not gonna buff the Trunks, so be careful. I would remove this guy and put the other Vegeta if possible. And this as a Z tier, of course, or put EX Vegeta if you want as an S tier. And this guy is gonna be buffed by Kaba as green. And remember, this Kaba is gonna support the Vegetas since he's giving them damage here. If you do not have Kaba, you can remove him too and put, for example, the Evocan here, and you're gonna be fine. And in S tier, you can put someone like EX Vegeta. Other LLs that are decent is this Nappa, he's pretty good. You're gonna have also this Trunks. He's strike based, but he's gonna be okay, and he's gonna Zenkai buff himself. He's gonna do a lot of damage. He's also gonna super regularly. And finally, you can have the stack force that are also good. Now let's put back our Z tier here, which is gonna be our Vegeta. Didn't have Kaba, can remove one LL and put someone else like Vegeta, or you can put someone like this Trunks, and you should be fine. Now for A tier, we're gonna have the healer, which is this guy, who is our main healer. Now if you have the Bula, I would advise Bula over him because she's a little bit better. However, if you have the Zenkai buff from this guy, he is gonna be okay defensively, since he's gonna get extra stat plus the HP from this guy, and he's gonna be okay in battle. If you do not have the Super Vegeta, I would put GT Vegeta here, and put, for example, the Bula, who is gonna be your main healer in your team. You can also put double yellow here and remove like the Trunks, and you're gonna put here the Super Vegeta, which is gonna be okay. And here you can put someone else like the Poo Duo if you wanted to, and your team is gonna be pretty good in battle. That's basically it for Vegeta clan. Have at least 2 Z tier, which is easy with the free to plays, and the rest try to customize. Have 2 LRs, I would say, minimum, or have an ultra, like the Ultra Super Saiyan for Vegeta is gonna be decent. And when you have Ultra Super Saiyan for Vegeta, I would advise Bula as healer, and I would advise this GT Vegeta, since he will help him with the Ultra Vegeta or GT's ability. Now let's get to the next tier. I'm gonna give 2 movie variant. I think the Blast one, which is this one, is gonna be better in battle, but have a little bit less boost. This one is safer, of course. The other one is Strike movie, has a little bit more boost, but it's gonna be a little bit more tricky in battle and less safe. But if you are a good player, you're gonna be fine with it. For Blast movie, you're gonna have 2 Z tier, and it's gonna be Broly and Tapion if you can. Both of them are usable in Strike and Blast movie, they're really good. This Broly need to be at least 9 star. He has a double defense ability, he has pretty similar stats, and he has 30% damage cut, so he's gonna be pretty tanky. And you're gonna have this Purple Tapion. This Purple Tapion, he's really good in battle, but just be careful, put him in the bottom row, I would advise, because he can cover in the back, and he's gonna take damage when he covers, so he will lose a lot of HP. Remember, you're gonna have your healer Gamma. This Gamma can heal in the 3 direction, left, right, and up. So if you put him here, he's gonna heal Gogeta, Tapion, and Broly. I have a full positioning video if you want to learn more about that. And other Z tier you can run instead of the Tapion and Broly, or basically the Broly, because Tapion you can go farm him to 14 star right now. The free to play event is out. Is basically this Vegeta. He doesn't have the Z ability for movie, which is annoying, but himself is gonna have decent stat, and he's gonna be having some damage cut from turn 2, so it's gonna be okay. You're gonna have this Trunks. Both Vegeta and Trunks are strike based, which is annoying. If you do not have Vegeta and Trunks, you can just go farm this Nappa, and he's gonna be a free 14 star. He's not the greatest in battle, but he's gonna have some debuff on the enemy, so your team is gonna do more damage with him in the battle. Finally, you can have also this Gogeta. If you are missing Nappa or you don't have energy to farm him, he's gonna be decent defensively, but will do nothing else. For S tier, you're gonna have the blue DBS Broly you can farm easily, very good in battle, and you're gonna have no one else because there isn't too many good strike ones. You can have this guy if you have them in your box, at least 7 or 9 star. I would really advise them because they will be pretty decent, and they have double defense ability. They can support your allies. So if you have them, you can remove, for example, the Almond or the Gogeta, and you can put them in your team. You're also gonna have this guy who is decent in a Blast movie team, or you can run, for example, this Great Saiyaman, and he's more strike based, but he can be usable, of course. For A tier, I've put the Almond because he's the best one, but you can run the Gamma if you have him. He's more blast based and he's pretty decent, or you can run this free to play Piccolo, who is also decent and can be run in the Blast movie teams. And in B tier we have the yellow Roshi. He's our HP buffer. He's pretty good in battle as a blast based character. I would really advise him at least 9 star. If you do not have him 9 star, what you can do is basically run the red pan. If you have Great Saiyaman, you would remove him because you already have double red, or you can run Great Saiyaman plus pan, but I would really advise this Frieza because he's one of the best Blast movie characters. In this spot you can also have an LL like the Gamma, who are really good in battle. They need to be at least 7 star, I would say. If your team is high star around, you can have this Metal Cooler we just got. You can have this guy if he's high star, or you can run, for example, the Beast Gohan, the 2-1. They can be used in Blast teams. just the Z ability are not the greatest. The red one is okay, but the blue one is more strike attack, which is annoying. You can also just put the Super Gogeta, who is pretty good. Now let's get to the strike one, which is less good in battle, but more boost. This is the strike variant. It's not as good as the blast one because blast teams are so much better in terms of targeting and avoiding covers, but the strike movie is gonna be decent. You're gonna have the Z tiers, Broly and Tapion still, who are the best. You can use the Vegeta if you want to. You can use the Gogeta, who is decent. He can tank pretty well, but he doesn't have the Z ability. And you can have the Trunks, of course, who is pretty decent too. Now for our S tier, we're gonna have the Great Saiyaman, who is a good Zenkai buffer for our Pan, and he's S tier. And you're gonna have this Bojack, who is decent in battle too. You're gonna have the HP with Pan. If you do not have Great Saiyaman, you have also the Tapion, who's really good, and he can Zenkai buff the Pan still. If you do not want to run Zenkai buffer, you can still run like RR Piccolo, who is gonna be good in your team. But I would really advise a red Zenkai, since you do not have too many Zenkais. You're gonna have also this guy, who is really good in battle, and he's gonna heal a little bit one character behind him. For example, here he's gonna heal the Magenta. Magenta is a top tier character as a green movie character. Of course, if you do have the LL Goku, I would advise LL Goku because he's super good in battle. Now, if you are missing someone like the Tapion, you can use the RR Piccolo, who is gonna be good, and you can go farm him right now. Finally, of course, if you have the LLs, they will be pretty decent. For example, if you have the Beast Gohan, he's gonna be really good. If you have someone like the Red Beast Gohan, he's gonna do the job. This guy, who's pretty decent, and Zenkai buff Red movie. So if you run this guy, you don't need to run the Tapion or Great Saiyaman. You're gonna have also someone like the Gogeta Blue and so on. LLs are gonna be very helpful. But let's like make the team back here. I'm gonna put the Tapion, who's gonna be super helpful for our team with a debuff and a little bit of support and healing. Here in A tier, and you're gonna have, for example, your Magenta, who is really good. If you have Goku, of course, around Goku because he's much better. And you're gonna have your Great Saiyaman or your Tapion or Great Saiyaman here, and that's gonna be fine for your team. You can also have the Bojack if you wanted to. And now that's basically it for the two movie teams. Let's get to the next one. Final team is gonna be Unirep. Pretty good this season, lot of good Z tier. I'm gonna have even 3 Z tier for this team, which is gonna be the Dispo, the best Z tier for this team. And he's gonna be pretty good in battle. 30% damage cut. He's gonna have 100% damage turn 1 and 2, and he can crit, which is nice. You're gonna have also the Champa. I used them before, and he's gonna get HP buffed by the Kaba, of course, if you have Kaba. And he doesn't have the Z ability for USS, which is annoying, but he's gonna be pretty good in battle. And also you're gonna have the other Champa, who has the Z ability, but he's more strike based, which is not the best because our team is more blast based. Now for replacement, you can have this Vados instead of one of the two in the bench, but you already have 2 greens or 3 greens, sorry, which is not the most ideal. I would say if you do not have Dispo, you can run Vados, but she's not as good in battle and she doesn't have the Z ability. Other than that, you can have the Cerebrian instead of the blue Champa, and instead of the yellow Champa, maybe you can run this Dispo if you wanted to. He's not the best, but he can be okay. Or this purple Bergamo, who is really good. Purple Bergamo can replace basically any Z tier you are missing, and he will be fine. For example, we can run purple Bergamo plus yellow Champa, purple Bergamo plus the blue Champa, or him plus let's say yellow Champa and blue Champa and purple Bergamo, and it's gonna be fine. But me, I'm gonna use this tree here because the HP buff here is gonna be green plus universe 6, the blue Champa as universe 6, and this Dispo is gonna be green. Now for S tier, we're gonna have our red Kaba, or green Kaba, sorry, not red. He's gonna be really good in battle. If you have him Zenkai, I would really advise him to get him for Unirep as always. You have this red Kale is okay, but you are missing so many Z abilities for your Angel Frieza if you are gonna run red Kale too. But let's say you don't have this Champa, what you can do is run this red Kale instead, and you're gonna have 1 S tier or 2 S tier and 2 Z tier, which is gonna be decent for boost, and she's much better than him in battle. Other S tier I would advise, instead of Champa, like if you run only 2 Z tier, is this Kefla. You can farm her. She's not the best, but she can be okay. And you have the Spears too, but you're gonna remove this blue Champa and put someone else because you have 3 blue already. But let's say you do not have, you have only 2 Z tier, just run this red Kale and she will be fine. Now for your team, what you can do is have 1 LL or 2 LL if you wanted. I don't have the recent characters because I didn't summon for part 1 of anniversary. And if you have like UI Goku, Evo Vegeta, the Kaba, the new green Kefla, you can put them here and they will be fine. And I just put 17 because I have 17, and you get Zenkai buffed by this 18, and this 18 is really good. Other good option for Unirep is basically the new character. As I said, you have this Roshi who is really good in battle, and if you have only 2 yellow, it's gonna be fine. You have also the S tier, the C tier, sorry. You're gonna have this Evoken who do very well, and you're gonna have this free to play Jiren if you wanted another character that is free to play and you don't have any LL. Is gonna be good in battle. You have the other purple Jiren, you can run double purple if you wanted to, and it's gonna be fine. And finally, you can run in B tier here the red Bergamo if you didn't have the Kaba, and it's gonna be good because he's gonna HP buff everyone, although he's more strike based. You can also have this green Topo. If you remove Kaba, you don't have 3 greens anymore, so you can run him instead, for example, of Jiren or the Kale, and it's gonna be okay. Also, the same applies for this yellow Angel Frieza. If you do not have him, you can replace him with anything I mentioned earlier, like this blue 18 or MVP 17 if he's high star, or you can use like the Kaba if you wanted to here. You can also use him over Bergamo if you want, and it's gonna be fine. The team is gonna do pretty well. Of course, if you do not have the green Angel Frieza, I wouldn't really recommend using the team, but this Jiren as a healer on his own can do a job, I think. And you can have the EX Kale if you wanted to, plus the Jiren, and it should be fine. Not the best, but if you have like the Zenkai 18, she will Zenkai buff the EX Kale, and that's gonna be okay for battle too. That's basically it for Unirep. Now let me go to the outro and the schedule. The schedule goes as followed. We're gonna have the full guide. It's coming on Saturday this weekend, and I'm going to show you how to target all 25 fights, how to approach them, and how to do in every single fight. I will also tell you how to bring your Z tier, or which fight to bring your Z tier, and so on. On Monday, it's gonna be the team review. I will review your teams that you can submit on Discord or Twitter, and there will be links in the description. Discord, I will just link the post directly, you can put it there. On Twitter, there is a team submission channel, you can send it on there. The deadline is gonna be like 4 hours after reset on Sunday. Try to send it before Sunday. You can send me your team and look if it's good enough. You can send me your team and which Z tier option you have, so I can see which Z tier are the best for your box. And you can send me different teams if you want. Just don't send me full boxes. I will not make someone's team like from scratch, of course. And finally, the week after is gonna be the gameplay video with the hybrid team I showed you today. And that's basically it. I hope you enjoy, have a good one, and goodbye.